Hey guys, it's your boy Roller here, back with another video here with the UNPL D-League playoffs for the quarterfinals. We are taking on Coach Noah of the Detroit Silver Wings. If you guys have not checked out Noah, please go check him out. He's honestly a really cool dude, really fun to talk to, and he's a very talented battler. And if you guys have not checked out his run of the UNPL, definitely go check it out right away because he has had a phenomenal season. And definitely also check out his side because we did a post game interview on his channel that he wanted to do with all of his opponents, and it's definitely something that I think would be really awesome to for you guys to experience, have talk about the matchup and discussion about that stuff. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this matchup. If you guys are excited, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Thrill Crew today because we flew in with the King of the Crew. Now, Noah actually had a few people he can only pick from, but he decided to pick me because one, he really wanted to play me, and two, I think this matchup kind of went other ways, but he did have a little bit more of a favorable matchup into this one. And we're going to go over why. So, looking at his team right here, he has Iron Valiant, Goldango, Student Samurai, Zapdos, Chiyu, Monkey Dory, Sandaconda, Serena, Dunsparce, and Cricketune. Looking at what his team is, it's just a lot of really good scary offensive threats. Not really much of hazards, which is going to be really good for us in this matchup, which is really important. But in terms of his Terra captains, I fully expected the Dunsparce to come up in this matchup. Serena does make some sense if he wanted to bring Terra Fire to stop potentially a Terra Water Florges and shut that down. And also, Terra Fire was a really good defensive typing into my team. Which I think definitely would have put in a lot of work against us if we did not play around it correctly. In terms of what I expect him to bring, I think the Iron Valiant, Goldango, Zapdos, Chiyu, Monkey Dory, and the Dunsparce. And I expect fully Terra Fairy Dunsparce to be in this match. It's very rough for our team to deal with, and I think overall this is a very rough matchup for us. But I think we can pull the wins if we are able to have the prep needed to win this one. So, with that said, let's go and break down the team here. We have Cranky Con here with Careful Nature, 120 HP with 32 attack, 116 defense, and 156 for depth with 84 speed. We are bulk up taunt, rage fist, and drain punch. Dual stab literally just checks his entire team relatively well. The speed investment is the outspeeding, non-speed invested Zapdos, which I think is really good. I think maybe also in case 4 speed creep was in there as well. Maybe I don't know. But basically, the set basically lets me hit things hard and lets me really do a lot of work into this team. We are running Covert Cloak Manaphy, which stops Spirit Break from um the Iron Valiant from lowering our special attack. It also kind of stops with some niche things like Thunder Wave from Zapdos, maybe even Discharge behind screens, and also stopping the flinching from the Chi-Yu if that is the case. I don't know if that would have stopped Spikes from Hisuian Samurai. Excuse me. But it is what it is. We have Choice Scarf Darkrai, which basically revenges and kind of helps us in an end game if we really wanted to in the race. Plus, it gives me guarantee something that's faster than Iron Valiant, which is going to be kind of more crucial to bring into this matchup. We have Blossom, our Terra Ground Florges. I was deciding between Terra Water and Terra Ground. I felt like Terra Ground matched better because it helped against the Monkey Dory and also helped with the Goldango. We are max HP, 132 defense, 120 special attack, and 4 instant death. Subcalm Mine with Terra Blast and Moonblast kind of check about everything on his team relatively well. It is a very good mon into this matchup. If I can really position well and kind of play it carefully, I can actually win the game and I'd be able to put in some good work with this mon, which is really nice. Up next, we have Boo Boo Keys, the Clef Key here. Dual screens as always. More of a Spadef side of this matchup, but still being kind of mixed defensive with max HP, 108 defense, 4 special attack, which I probably should have maybe put in somewhere else, and 144 in Spadef. And then Spikes plus Flash Cannon just really checked a lot of things on his roster, unless he forced himself to bring Serena, which could have been a possibility. And then last we have Wormy here, Electros, which I really debated on a lot of things for my 6th slot. There were like actually a couple of factors I wanted to go with. But I ended up going with Electros. And I went with kind of like mixed defensive, but kind of more towards physically defensive. With careful though this week with 126 HP, a T attack, 216 defense, and 128 with depth. Knockoff, Drain Punch, Super Fang, and Thunder Punch. Knockoff and Super Fang are great utility moves for this thing to have, and then Drain Punch, Thunder Punch kind of checked everything I needed in terms to be able to beat stuff 1v1, and also to deal with things, so I think is really good. But yeah, with that being said, that's the team. Let's go and get into the battle. So we are here to take on against Noah here, and unfortunately, guys, this is a post com, and I didn't want to upload a post com for a playoff game, especially, but there was a lot of factors that came into this. One, the commentary, personally for me, I think was not top tier quality top quality right there. You guys deserve very good commentary that doesn't sound anything really bad. Two, my sister called me right as we had got into the game and after a Mon had fainted. And I got tilted a little bit from that call because she had asked me something that was really stupid. I don't know why she asked me when I had literally had just gotten home from being at her at the family house where she lives and everything like that. And I was literally right as I walked in. I got ready to play with Noah, and then she calls me. Now, obviously, my family doesn't know that I record and stuff like that, but they like to call me and instead of text me, which I might have to start letting them know, like, hey, you guys should probably text me if you want to call and stuff like that versus something. But we'll figure that out when we get to it. But then I got agitated from the call. I was losing concentration because I was agitated from my sister interrupting me and stuff. And I overall just did not really enjoy my commentary, and I felt like that would have been very poor commentary for you guys to listen to, and more importantly, I felt like it would have taken away from what exactly the battle was, and did not really like that. So, with that being said, I want to go ahead and do this one for you guys. I think it was a lot better. So as you can see here, we're taking on Noah, and he actually decided to bring the Hisuian Samurott, which was a very bit very I said which, not bitch. It's a very surprising one because again, I had so many counters to it, but I actually had talking to him. He literally decided just to bring because he felt like Spike's really nice into this matchup. Plus, he probably felt I was more Spadef on my Pokemon than Fizdev, and wanted to take advantage of that, which is very fair. And the Serena, like I said, did make some sense into my team if he really wanted to. But the fact that he was not Dunsparce was very crazy to me, honestly. Um, so with the Serena, again, my mindset is that it's going to be Terra Fairy, Terra Fairy, Terra Fire instead of Terra Steel or Grass. Excuse me. So in my mind, I'm trying to think of exactly what he wants to lead off here. There's three leads he can lead off here. He can lead off with the Monkey Door to potentially Power Shot. He can lead with the Zapdos for U-turn or Volt Switch, and he can also lead with his Hisuian Samurott to potentially Flip Turn. I wasn't even thinking about a Serena lead really, because Serena didn't really lead off great into my team or anything else for that matter. So I am going to go ahead and just give you guys here and we're going to go ahead and just go straight into it. He actually decides to lead off with his Chi-Yu here, and that's actually a little bit bad for us. But here's the thing here. Now, I'm put in a position here to do two things. I can either go for a Moonblast right here, Terra into my Terra Ground, or go for a Calm Mind here. And I actually like to go for the Calm Mind here, as he actually hards out right into his Serena here. And right here, I'm thinking of two plays I want to go here. I either go for Sub to scout for the Terra Fire before he goes for it, or I want to go for the attack here, predicting him not to Terra, and then just try to get a big hit off if I can. So I decided to go for the sub right here, as he is actually going for the power of this turn. And right here, I was really debating, right, really bad here, 50-50 here, on whether or not I wanted to go for the Moonblast, I wanted to Terra and go for Terra Blast, or click sub again. And I decided to go for, I believe, another Moonblast here as I revealed to be faster, which you can see was no speed invested. And he actually goes for a Terra Blast and gets a crit. Now, at the point in time, that also kind of factored in the tilt. Like, I had literally gotten this crit. My sister calls me. And then all for the rest of the game, I'm on tilt. I'm not focused. I'm not my head in the game and stuff like that. So, I did talk to Noah in the interview, and it turns out that he was pretty much max attack on his Serena, which therefore meant that that crit did not matter. Now, if I was at full, the crit probably would have rolled. That probably would have been the crit may have mattered more there. But since I was at like 80 something percent, I don't think the crit mattered at all. Probably without crit, I would have maybe still could have died potentially. But if crit only mattered, it just mattered on a roll. But I don't think crit mattered. But that really sucked because I almost Terra there. I literally was about to tell Terra and go for the Terra Blast there, which would have knocked him out, and that would have been like Serena gone. And then I could have been definitely punishing with spikes later on. But that was just how it went. So right now, I go into my Electros here. I decide to go for the Drain Punch here, and he actually reveals to be really much damaging here. I go for this, and now he's actually go for the Synthesis, as I actually go for a knockoff, which was actually the best case scenario for me. Because now it reveals that he's heavy duty boots, which makes kind of sense. But now if he lands into the Power Whip, he basically just has a chance to knock me out here, and he is going to knock me out. And you can notice that he doesn't miss a single Power Whip, which is a little annoying, I won't lie, but it is what it is. But at this point, it's kind of over. I really have no other way to win here, so I'm going to go and go for a bulk up here. and then go for I think a Rachis for another bulk up. A taunted. That was a taunted. So he reveals to be Hurricane and not Land, so it slightly makes up for the fact that I missed my I got critted again at the time. That's how I felt, you know. But the real is like he had speed in his Zapdos, and he had talked to me. He only had put 8 speed EVs into his Zapdos, which was enough to outspeed my Creep with my Annihilate, which that kind of sucked. But at the same time, it just was one of those things now that I knew that information, so I can kind of take advantage of it. So after the taunt, I go ahead right into my Klefki as he is going to go for the Hurricane here. Do not much damage to me. I'm going to go ahead and get my screen up here as he's going to Volt Switch out into the Chi-Yu. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, what do I want to do here? I actually decide to go right back into my Annihilate as he clicks Flamethrower here. And there's two plays that now go into my mind. I have two options here. I could either Drain Punch here, get the recovery back, or I could bulk up on a prediction that he's going to swap out. So I decided to go for the bulk up, predicting him to switch out here, and he actually reveals to be Flamethrower, and also by that damage, I know that he's modest specs. And unfortunately for me, that means now my Cranky Kong is now dead. And that actually would have provided us very good momentum there because if I got that Drain Punch off, I'm pretty sure that would have maybe not killed the Chi-Yu, but it puts me back up in range. He tries to flamethrower me, and I pick him off there. I'm potentially +1 with my thing, but I also have now 2 to 3 hits off, so now my Rage Fist is boosted to like 100 some damage pout, which is really, really good because I can hold it off in late game if I get the screens back up. He goes into his Monkey Dory as I get my Tail Glow off here. And you're going to see here that he is Assault vested, probably max HP and very decently Spadev, and has the clear Smog here. So I'm going to go ahead and go for another tail goal here. So he goes for the Sludge Bomb. And I could go for the Surf here. He's going to go ahead and just clear Smog again. I'm just going to go ahead and just click Surf, get my KO where I see it. Thankfully, this is not going to be a 6-0, so no 6-0 playoffs, which is really good. In comes the Serena here. I have to go hard in my clicky here. He's going to go for the power up here. I am now going to have to just hope and pray to God that I can be able to win this game now with my Manaphy. As now I go into my Manaphy, and I go for tail glow here as I'm very surprised he actually hard out there. No, I actually surfed first. I surfed into the nest, into the dazzling gleam as he's actually going to reveal to be pretty offensive with that Iron Valiant. And he's going to go to Serena. I have to hope for a power whip miss. And unfortunately, I don't get the power whip miss. But later on, he reveals that he has Choice Scarf and his Hussein Samurai. So even if I got the miss, it didn't matter because he could have just went to that. But in comes the Zapdos. I'm clicking Dark Pulse. I literally have to win this game by flinching. Thankfully, I do not get parried. I go for another Dark Pulse, get the flinch this time, and now I KO his Zapdos, which thankfully Noah did not play for differential, which I really appreciate that. But in comes the Susan Samurott. I have to get the flinches in order to have a chance to win this. I don't get a flinch, and Noah is going to pick up the victory here and pick up a 2-0 victory. And like I had said in his commentary, I felt like I did not give him a worthwhile matchup here, and even then, I think there was chances I still would have lost this matchup. Again, the only play that maybe I should have done better was drawing punching the Chi-Yu in front of that, even though the Zapdos could have clearly came in. But I think getting any damage on the Zapdos would have been good, and also getting any leftovers recovery and Drain Punch recovery would have been great. And I guess he was potentially was trying to predict me to also go for Rage Fist there, which I guess slightly makes sense. But it's again one of those things where I wish I had done a different play, but it is how it is. And best of luck to Noah going into the playoffs. He's definitely gonna be my pick to win the whole thing, even though he's from a different division. But if I had to pick one that was in my division, I'm gonna go with DJ or Bahana. They're gonna make my picks to win it. But for Teal, I'm picking Noah because I think Noah has a really great team. He knows how to play it, use it correctly. So fantastic him. Like I said, a link to his channel will be down below. And real quick, I want to talk about the team this season. First off, Bennett, it was trash. Don't ever draft it. I wanted to try to use it, but didn't do anything. Cryogonal was a major letdown. There were some matches I did want to bring Triogonal, but I think I kind of second guessed myself from, and I guess I kind of wish I didn't. But also at the same time, I felt like Florges was better Terra wise into most matchups, so kind of went with that instead. Kind of stayed with Grafia as well. So this was actually our second worst because we only brought it to one game. Electros, I really wish I had brought it also to some other games as well because I think it actually could have performed a little bit better for us as well in some matchups. But it was again another week one on the team as it didn't do really anything. Sandaconda slightly better than the worst. It's our like number 8 or number 9 mon. It wasn't a bad mon, but I only got to roll to one game and I got 2 kills, but it didn't do anything else for us. But it was still a good mon. I do recommend it. Florges, honestly, the most disappointing mon this season. I think out of all the mons we mostly used, this was the most disappointing. And it sucks because I actually think there's so much potential with Florges with Terra. I really, really do. I think maybe I need to try it again one more time with Terra and see if we can make something work with it. Otherwise, it might just be one of those Pokemon that I just can't use. But it was still a mon that did decently well for us, but I really wish I could have done a lot more. And the mon that was outside of the top 6 was Grafaiga. Let's be honest, Grafai just barely made number 7 on the best of our mons this season just because of the sweep we got against Arc. Otherwise, it actually could have done some other things for us, but unfortunately, we just got critted and hacks with it, so it's how it is. But I do recommend trying out this thing with Terra. It's a lot of fun. It actually is very good, so very much enjoyed it this season, though, for what it was worth. And now we get into this top 6, the best of the best. And right here we get is my boy Rillaboom. Even though he did not do a ton for us, didn't come that many games, I have a new appreciation for Rillaboom, and I have actually used that thing very well this season. Definitely had a lot more fun with it this season than the last time I had it back in Gen 8. This is a very good Pokemon. If you're looking for a really good grass type that's either offensive, can be defensive, and overall just a really good team synergy wise with pivoting and also the support of the terrain, definitely recommend Rillaboom. It's a very fantastic Pokemon. I think just barely edging out is Klefki. Now, Klefki definitely got to pop off some games. We had a weakness policy Klefki, which really worked and was about to do some work if I had maybe done a little bit more aggressive with it. Overall, Klefki was fantastic support. This gen has made me truly appreciate and like Klefki, where at the beginning of time when I saw this thing, I thought it was one of the stupidest Pokemon ever, and I thought this was a lame Pokemon. But ever since I used it back pretty much around the basically when I think home transfer mons came the first time without the DLC was the first time I ever used Klefki, and I really fell in love with Klefki ever since. It's a fantastic Pokemon, and I'm very much looking forward to using it again. Manaphy just barely took number 4. If it wasn't for the performance in the last couple of games, Manaphy would not have made it as high as it did, honestly. Manaphy, I don't know what happened this season. I think I wasn't really aggressive with Manaphy this season. I wish I had kind of changed up some sets. Like, I feel like against Noah's team, I kind of wish low key now I was Take Heart. Because if I was Take Heart over Tailglow, I actually could have potentially had one versus Owen. I mean, Owen, Noah. Um, but it's one of those wish you could have, should have type of things. But it's definitely a Pokemon that I really do think has a lot of potential, and I am very much looking forward to trying it again. I currently have it in another league where it's like the second or third overall Pokemon in terms of kill leaders, which says a lot right there if it's doing better in that league versus another league. But I still love Manaphy. I recommend trying Manaphy. It's such a really good mon. In our top 3, I think barely making top 3 is Annihilate, but he definitely did a lot this season. He actually did a lot more work than he could have. I wish I took advantage of Annihilate a little bit better in some games. Like I wish I could have used it a lot more efficiently well in what I wanted to do. If I actually had brought like a Scarf Gambit set, that actually could have been really good for us, and definitely would have provided a very good offensive role for us. But it is one again those things I could have things. It's definitely a very strong mon. I very much enjoyed it. It's a one Pokemon that I don't get to draft a lot of them, but it's definitely a Pokemon I think I can build well with and use well. So it's definitely a Pokemon I look forward to using again in the future. Probably the big shocker of the season, and overall for me, probably one of the MVP, if not the MVP of the team, was Hisuian Braviary, man. I absolutely love this thing. I think with Terra, it'll even be more fantastic, but as it was, I think as it is as a Pokemon right now, it is fantastic. Tinted Lens was really good. We did tend to go more towards Sheer Force than Tinted Lens, but this was still a fantastic Pokemon. 100% recommend this Pokemon. Even if you want like a cheap budget defogger, this Pokemon does it. But if you're looking for a really good offensive breaker after an agility, this Pokemon is your type of Pokemon. I absolutely love this thing, and I definitely want to try to draft it again. And I think after his performance in the playoffs, he barely manages to be the best of the best. He finished with 7 kills this season, including playoffs. 7, which is not that impressive for a Darkrai in an 9 week season plus 1 week of playoffs. So basically 10 games and he got 7 kills. it didn't even get one kill per game. I do think I didn't get as aggressive with Darkrai. I think I went too much with trying to be this, that, and this with Darkrai. I wish I could have used Darkrai a little bit better in some instances. I do have another chance at Darkrai in another league I am in right now that I'm not uploading. But I do want to see if I can finally unlock that potential that Darkrai has. Um, if I don't, then maybe Darkrai is another Pokemon I can use, and it's better that I don't try to use it. But I'm very much looking forward to trying Darkrai again in that league. But Darkrai for this one, even though I didn't use it especially well, I think it's by the end of the season we definitely were showing how good Darkrai can be. Even though some of those that it did well and didn't win, it was still a good Pokemon, and regardless, it is one of my favorite Gen 4 Pokemon. So overall, I'm very happy with how the season ended. With that being said, though, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Danny and Kurt for inviting me to be a part of the D League. If you guys are ever hosting the D League again, I'll definitely throw my name in there for the nomination to come back. Um, Thank you to every single one of the coaches that showed so much love and support for me during the season. So people like Noah, DJ, Mohana, Akira, DJ, all of you. I can keep naming names, but we be here all day. All of you, thank you so much for your love and support. Definitely looking forward to coming back to face some of the best of the best. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and probably get ready to go to sleep because I'm getting tired. But thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, guys.